November the 18th, 2021. Guys, in an earlier video today, we were talking about Vancouver Island and that the way that the times are changing here in the end times. We have to be very careful because they're not normal. And this video is about it not being normal. And you're looking at images tonight from La Palma. And over the last week, we've seen the volcanic activity go down. We've seen the earthquakes go down. But a couple of days ago, the solar wind started picking up from the sun, and it has doubled, and it's been going on since the 16th. We saw a sudden increase there, and then yesterday we saw the strongest earthquake activity on La Palma, not only during this entire event, but going back into September when we were seeing the precursor earthquakes start to happen. We'll look at that chart. But I'm going to back out for a few moments. I'll come back in, and I want you to just kind of listen to what's happening tonight. Again, solar wind activity kicked up. Yesterday's earthquakes were the largest for months, if possibly through the entire year. And so check this out. I'll come back in just a moment. Now, this is the earthquake activity on La Palma starting September the 9th on the far left. You see a very large spike there, but it is nothing compared to what happened yesterday on the far right of this. Your color coding is key because your oranges are 2 to 3 magnitude as far as the earthquake. You go into purple 3 to 4, and red you're going 4+ in magnitude. You can see that spike there, much higher than what we saw back in September on the precursor quakes. Now, here's what's happening. This is solar wind speed for the last 3 days. In the very center of this graph, you'll notice a sudden increase in the purple graph, which is the solar wind speed. It's in kilometers per second, 600 kilometers per second. Guys, that's very fast. You're dealing with the drops and everything, 1,000,000 miles per hour. The temperature increases with it in the graph below it. It's starting to slow down now, but through November the 16th, November the 17th, and coming out of the 18th, we saw the increase in the solar wind. We saw the increase in the earthquakes. And the video you just saw, we saw the increase of the volcanic activity and the lava flow. And one of the reasons I'm doing the video is because there's been such an attack from so-called scientific experts about how the sun is related to the events that we see here on Earth. But we've seen a lot of false science lately, and you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. And so read Malachi. It talks about in the 3rd chapter. It's 4 very short chapters, the last book of the Old Testament. And it's one of the most enlightening ones if you understand what it's talking about. It mentions the sun, and in this case Shemesh, which is not the Son of God, but the physical sun, and how it spreads its healing wings. And if you think about Revelation, when an angel poured out a vial upon the sun, there's a correlation there. And then think about how science has wrapped this planet in a network of satellites that broadcast at their frequency. And in many cases, if you think about it very carefully, they can block the healing resonance you can actually measure in what's called a Schumann resonance. And 8 to 12 cycles per second is a very calming frequency for the human mind. It's where prayer, meditation occurs. And because you can relax at that point, you're kind of turning out everything but the God frequency. But with this network that has been created by some of the elite of the planet, multiple satellites, creating a net or a web, which if you think about a net and a web are both traps, right? Spider web, fish net, whatever. when that is so predominantly wrapped around us, the Schumann resonance and a lot of frequencies that we would normally feel that are healing are blocked. But when Malachi talks about Shemesh pouring out and its healing wings to mankind, and you look at the angel in Revelation again pouring out that vial upon the sun, you realize that this type of activity, guys, can knock out satellites. We've talked about it in other videos. It can take down and put that kingdom of the beast into darkness. And what happens at that point? Those healing wings, that frequency that God created through the entire universes, is no longer blocked by the enemy. Those are the things we're looking at. I know it's kind of a long, drawn-out video, and it's kind of late, but guys, it's very important you understand what I'm talking about. Read the very short 4 chapters of the last book in the Old Testament of Malachi, and understand that when he's talking about the sun, you translate that into Hebrew, it is Shemesh, and it's talking about the physical sun. It's a heads up, guys. Be safe.